Hollywood often portrayed Ernest Borgnine as the warm, smiling everyman, a gentle soul who got along with everyone. But behind that friendly image was a line he refused to let anyone cross. On one explosive set, Borgnine watched behavior so shocking that it stayed with him for the rest of his life. Joan Crawford, already known for her fiery temper, was locked in a bitter feud with Mercedes McCambridge, and tensions boiled over when Joan allegedly threw a cup of hot coffee at a young production assistant, leaving him badly burned. Borgnine didn't see it as old Hollywood drama, he saw it as unforgivable and deeply unprofessional. That moment hardened something in him, and it wasn't the only clash that shaped his silent grudges. He also struggled behind the scenes with legends like Spencer Tracy and Shelley Winters, names that carried power, ego, and tension wherever they went. Tonight on Prestige Buzz, we're uncovering the one co-star Ernest Borgnine never forgave, a secret he carried with him to the grave. Ernest Borgnine was born as Hermes Efren Borgnino in 1917 in Hamden, Connecticut, the child of Italian immigrants searching for stability. At just 2 years old, his world fractured when his parents separated and his mother took him back to Italy. For 5 formative years, he lived near Modena, speaking only Italian and shaped by a culture that felt entirely his own. In 1923, his parents reunited and the family returned to America to begin again. His father became Charles and their surname was shortened to Borgnine, a quiet attempt to blend into a country that valued assimilation. For young Ernie, it was an early lesson in reinvention. Growing up in New Haven, he showed no interest in acting, sports filled his world, and nothing hinted at future stardom. It would take an unexpected turn and a call to the U.S. Navy to set his life on an entirely different course. In 1935, straight out of high school, Borgnine enlisted in the Navy, serving aboard the destroyer USS Lamberton for 6 years. By 1941, he accepted an honorable discharge, but history had other plans. Just weeks later, Pearl Harbor was attacked. Driven by an unshakable pull to return, he re-enlisted in 1942, guarding the Atlantic coastline. War reshaped him, teaching him the discipline and brotherhood that later gave his military roles an unmistakable authenticity. When he left the service in 1945 as a gunner's mate first class, he nearly stayed for another decade. Had he done so, Hollywood would have lost him entirely. Then came a moment that altered everything. His mother, seeing a spark he hadn't, bluntly suggested he try acting since he always liked making a fool of himself. Despite having no training or contacts, he enrolled in drama school and eventually moved to Virginia's Barter Theater, where he learned the craft from the ground up, even cleaning bathrooms and fixing costumes between roles. The turning point came when Borgnine reached Broadway in 1949 with Harvey, starring James Stewart. Playing a male nurse, he closely studied Stewart's every gesture, gaining the confidence he needed for the screen. Television followed in 1951, but his massive breakthrough arrived with From Here to Eternity in 1953. As the sadistic Sergeant Fatso Judson, Borgnine was so terrifying that Frank Sinatra avoided him between takes, and the performance even brought him death threats from disturbed viewers. 2 years later, he stunned the industry again with Marty. Instead of cruelty, he revealed quiet humanity as a shy Bronx butcher. On a shoestring budget, the film touched hearts and won Borgnine the Best Actor Oscar at age 38. Surpassing icons like James Dean and Spencer Tracy. He refused to be confined by one image, later performing his own stunts in The Dirty Dozen and bringing effortless authenticity to McHale's Navy, a show so influential that the U.S. Navy later consulted with its writers for real-life training exercises. Even as his performances became legendary, Borgnine's life off-screen was equally dramatic. In 1954, on the set of Johnny Guitar, he found himself caught in the crossfire of the notorious feud between Joan Crawford and Mercedes McCambridge. He witnessed Crawford tossing McCambridge's costumes onto a highway and eventually had to physically intervene when the two actresses began swinging blows. While Crawford never turned on him personally, her volatility left an indelible mark on him. He faced similar challenges with Spencer Tracy's piercing intensity on Bad Day at Black Rock and Shelley Winter's grueling perfectionism on The Poseidon Adventure. Despite these clashes, Borgnine remained a force in the industry until the very end, finding a new generation of fans as Mermaid Man on SpongeBob SquarePants. He recorded his final lines just 2 weeks before passing away at 95, a testament to a man who realized that acting wasn't about the size of the screen, but the size of the audience's heart. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification for more deep dives here on Prestige Buzz.